Today, we are going to learn how to use an interactive timeline software called TimeRime. Timelines allow us to see a chain of events in chronological order. When studying a historical period, historians are able to see through a timeline the forces that shape that society and get a better understanding of change and continuity over time. Timelines can be used to see how chains of events led to a particular end, perhaps how one event can be a trigger that causes other events to follow. Previously, timelines were written on a linear line with dates and events. However, technology permits us to make timelines interactively and include images, music, videos, and additional information. TimeRime.com allows you to view, create, and share interactive timelines. Use this site to search for user-created timelines about countless topics, including World War I and World War II. Use the search options at the bottom of the page to narrow your search. So select a topic, World War I, an author, if you know it, and the category, in this case, history. Then click search. Here, you'll be able to find countless timelines created by a variety of users on the topic of World War I. Alright, you can also view timelines that are popular, new, and recently changed. There's an option to create your own unique timeline and share it by URL or by embedding it in your class blog, wiki, or web page, which is what we're going to use it for today, creating our own timeline. So, to begin, we need to click the login or register button, like so. So, to register for TimeRime is free. You must select a username, enter your email address. I'd like you to use your school email address, followed by a password. You must then repeat that password and enter the following code. After completing that, click here to state that you read the terms of use and that you agree, followed by register. Once you've registered, you log in using your email address, followed by your password. So here we go, we can log in. Okay, so once you log in, you're provided with an overview of your timelines, which you can edit, display, or delete at any time. But today, what I'd like to do is click the option Make a New Timeline. Okay, when you make a new timeline, you must give your timeline a title. So I'm going to title it Significant Events of World War I. The category I'm going to select is History. Underneath here, I'm going to write a short description of what my timeline is about. So this timeline looks at the significant events of World War I from 1914 to 1918. Then I click the Save option to save my new timeline. What I must first do is narrow down the period of my timeline. So the period title is going to be World War I. The begin date is 1914. I'm not going to select a month or a day. And the end date is 1918. I'm going to add a short description saying this timeline explores the events of World War I from 1914 to 1918. Yep, I click the option Save. I now can add particular dates to my timeline using the Items tab. So I'll click on that. So the item name, the first event that I'm going to select is the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. So that occurred in 1914. It occurred in June, so the 6th month, and the date is the 28th. I'm also going to select an end date as that same day, 1914, 6th, and the 28th. So I'm going to write a short description which will appear in my timeline. I'm going to write Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie are assassinated in Sarajevo. Yep. I then can add an image to my timeline. So I click the tab, add image. So I've already uploaded this image to my timeline. But if you'd like to upload a new image, what you do is click upload one file and you choose the file and therefore you select. So I'll select the same image, I click open and I click upload. So it's saying a file with a specific name already exists. So for this case, I'm already aware of that. So I click Archduke and Sophie and there we go. I'm able to clear that image at any time should I realize that that is the wrong image. So underneath here, I'm going to write a description and add more information to my timeline, which will only appear once I click on the event. So I'm going to write the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne was shot and killed by a Serbian nationalist of the group the Black Hand. His name was Gavrilo Princip. Yep. I then click save. And I can see that this has now appeared on my timeline. If I'd like to create a new one, I click save, a new event rather, I click save and new. So let's add another event. I'll add the event, the Anzac landing at Gallipoli. So that happened in 1915, in April, so the 4th month, and it was the 25th. And again, for the end date, I'll just state the same thing, 4th, 25. Okay, a short description. So, for this short description, I'm going to say Anzac landing at Anzac Cove in Gallipoli, Turkey. So I'll click add image. I'll upload a file. I'll choose a file and I'm going to search for landing at Gallipoli. I'll click open, upload. That's been uploaded successfully. I can get out of this. I now select that image, which now appears on my timeline. And like I said previously, if you realize you've selected the wrong image, you're able to clear the image and it will get rid of it. So this image is an image of the landing at Gallipoli in 1915. So here, I can write a short description, which will appear underneath the timeline when I click on the event. So I'll write the landing at Gallipoli occurred in the early hours of the 25th of April and was met with an onslaught by Turkish defenders. I then click save to add it to my timeline and new if I'd like to create a new event. So as you can see here, I have this event, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and I also have the landing at Gallipoli in 1915. So if I were to click on that event, I see this information. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie are assassinated in Sarajevo. I also see the additional description which I added to my timeline. The heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne was shot and killed by a Serbian nationalist of the group the Black Hand. His name was Gavrilo Princip, as you can see. So once I have added all my events to my timeline, I am able to either embed it using this embed it to a website using this hyperlink, or I'm actually able to print it, as you can see here. So there we go. This is how we use TimeRime. It's easy, it's simple, and it brings history to life.